Everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to show you how to do this beautiful stitch. I finished my ball of wool and I've got this is in the 3 for 2 and it's in the pound shop. It is quite a thin yarn, this, so it doesn't actually, does it tell you? It is a 4mm hook that it tells you to use, but I'm going to use a 4.5 for this blanket well, and it's quite a simple stitch. Because the yarn's so thin, I didn't do it with trebles. I've done it with double trebles, and if you're in the USA, that's a treble, just a treble in the USA. In the UK, this is a double treble, and I used the double treble here as well for these stock parts, and it's really pretty. So I'm using a 4.5mm hook. Even though the yarn says to use a 4, I'm going to use a 4.5 to keep my pattern nice and light and airy. Now on this little blanket, the stitch count is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a stitch count of 7 because it takes you 7 stitches to get from here to just before the next one. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to do it in sets of 7, and then I'm going to add another 2, so that the extra 2 stitches that we add should leave us with 2 pillars on the end of our blanket like this. So we should end up with 2 pillars on the end, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to do my chain. So to do my slip knot, I just wrap the yarn around my fingers and I tuck it underneath there. Get a little loop and then just pull your finger out, and that gives you this little loop. Just put your hook through and pull it. So you can do your slip knot whatever way that you want. I'm going to do my chain in sets of 7 stitches, and I'm going to do it quite loose. If you do it too tight, you'll end up with an arch at the bottom of your blanket. So make sure when you're doing a pattern blanket, do your chain quite loose. So I'm just making sure I do the chain, do the stitches loose. You can give them just a little pull, and I'm going to do them in sets of 7. So you do your blanket, your chain for your blanket, the length that you want. If you know what length you want but you don't know how many stitches to do, measure it with a measuring tape and then do your chain in sets of 7 to the length of the measuring tape, the measure you want on your measuring tape. That's what I do. So if I want to do it for like a big pram, I'll measure across the pram. I'll give it about that much to tuck down each side, and I'll do my chain. I'll do my chain to that length, as long as you do it in sets of 7 stitches. So I'll get my chain done and I'll come back and show you what to do next. A little sample done for you on this chain. Now I'm going to chain an extra 2 stitches, 1 and 2. These are the 2 stitches that will help make up the first pillar that we're going to do. It's going to make up the first stitch. So I'm going to do my yarn over twice, 1, 2, and I'm going into the 4th stitch in the chain. I'm going into the 4th stitch. Just go into there, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So that chain becomes your first double treble, and that one you've just made your second double treble. So if you're in the USA, this is a treble crochet. If you're in the UK, it's a double treble. I'm going to skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th stitch. So skip 3, 1, 2, 3, into the 4th stitch in the chain. Put your yarn over your hook twice, wrap it twice. It looks like you've got 3 stitches. So we're going into 1, 2, 3 into the 4th stitch in the chain. Pull your yarn through. You've got 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, come through 2 loops, yarn over, come through 2 loops, and yarn over and come through 2 loops. So that's 1 done. That's the 2nd one, and this is the 3rd one. We're going to chain 1 and do another 3, all into that same stitch. It's 1, 2, and 3. You're going to skip 3 stitches. Now just remember that when that makes that hole quite big, you've got a stitch right there. So remember and count that one. 1, 2, 3. Into this stitch we're going to put 1 double treble into this one. 1 double treble into the next stitch. It's just like that. That's what it looks like. You're going to skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to do that fan cluster again. So yarn over twice, 3 double trebles, 1 chain, and 3 double trebles all into the same stitch. If you're in the USA, that's 3 trebles, 1 chain, and 3 trebles all into the same stitch. So I've cut up there. That's 1, 2, 3, chain 1, yarn over twice, and do another 3 double trebles. Yarn over through your 2 stitches. Yarn over your hook twice, through the stitch, yarn over, through 2 loops, yarn over, through 2 loops, yarn over and through 2. So I've got 1 more to do. Then we're going to skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to put our 2 double trebles, 1 into one stitch and 1 into the next stitch, and we're going to do that all the way along. Yarn over twice into the next stitch, skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to do our cluster again, and we're going to do that all the way along to the end. So I've got my last 5 stitches here, so I'm going to skip 3, and into the last 2 stitches I'm going to put my 2 sort of single double trebles, if you know what I mean. So it's 1 in there and 1 into this last stitch, and that's you completed your first row. And look how pretty it is. Looks like little bridges running along, and it's really nice in a variegated yarn like this. So what we're going to do now is we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to turn. That becomes your first double treble. So into the top of this next stitch we're going to put a double treble. So yarn over twice, and we're going into the top of this stitch. You're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and into the middle of this fan, into this chain 1, you're going to do a double crochet. If you're in the USA, this is a single crochet. So do a double crochet. You're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and do another double crochet into that same space. So you've got this little peak here, you've got this little tiny chain, and that's what we're going to do our next shell in. Don't worry about it looking too small, it won't once we've got all our stitches in. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, yarn over twice, and we're going to do a double treble here and a double treble here. And if you're in the USA, this is a treble crochet, a treble here and a treble here next to it. So we're going to go into the top of this stitch, it's quite thin, this yarn, and then into the next one, yarn over twice, into the top of it, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and double crochet into the chain space of your shell. Double crochet, chain 2, 1, 2, and double crochet again into the same chain space. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. You'll do your double treble, chain 3, then double crochet, chain 2 and double crochet, chain 3 and move over. So what we're doing is we're building this little chains, sets of chains and our little pillars, and then we'll do our fan set on the way back. So yarn over twice into the top of my stitch. Now when I go into the top of my stitch, if you go into the hole, your stitch is going to be offline. So what I do is, there's a little stitch going across, I just push my hook in and pull my yarn through, and it makes the stitch stay on the top of that one, and it makes it so much neater. It is worth it, because as you can see, the stitches sit right on top of each other like that, and it's really nice. Top of the shell, chain 2, 1, 2, double crochet into the top of the shell, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to move over to these last two. Now I'm going to do my double treble, sorry, and then into the top of that chain, that's where I'm going to put my next one, my second one. Just catch it into the top of that chain. That was the chain right at the very start that was the stitches that we missed. Oops, got a feather in there. Huh. Tiny little feather. So that's what we've got so far. We've got chain 3, 1, 2, 3. That becomes your first double treble. We're going to double treble into the top of that next one. And then we're going straight over, no chains, straight over and put your 3 double treble, your 1 chain and your 3 double trebles. We're going to make our shell into this space. Chain 1 and 3 more double trebles. Now you can do this with a UK treble crochet or a USA double crochet if you like, but I think it's pretty done in the shell like this. I'm getting a little colour change here. Now we're going straight over to the pillar here, no chains this time, straight over. It's 1 and 2 and straight over into that little chain space that we made here. We're going to do our 3 double trebles, or 1 chain and 3 double trebles. Three, 1 chain and 3 more. Make a shell into this space, and that's the 2 rows that you repeat until your blanket is big enough that you like this. It's looking really pretty. So we're doing skipping over this chain, and we're going to do our double treble here, double treble here. We'll skip over and into this little chain space here that we did. We'll make our fan, 3 double trebles, 1 chain, 3 double trebles, and then move over and work our way along. So once I get to this end, I'll come back and show you one more time what to do, and I'll show you the rest of the blanket that I've got made. So I'm at the end again, and I'll do my 2 double trebles at the end. Keeps the pattern symmetrical. There we go. Going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and turn. So that counts as your first double treble, and we'll do our next one twice around the yarn. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and move into the middle of our fan. We're going to do a double crochet, chain 2, and 1 more double crochet, chain 3, and move over to our 2 single double trebles. And you just carry on with those 2 rows. So it's the cluster row and then the chain 3 row that you repeat over and over again until you have, and this is what you get. It's absolutely beautiful. So give it a try. It's really, really pretty, and it's a beautiful stitch in a variegated yarn as well. Now, thank you very much for watching. Please click on the subscribe button, and if you click on the bell icon, you'll get notified when I put up another tutorial. It's very, very appreciated if you take the time and subscribe to my channel. Help me get up to 1 million subscribers. Yeah, we need to just encourage everyone to just get subscribing to the channel. So until the next time, happy crafting, and I'll see you all again soon.